Hello everyone, this is Cheryl with Architect Destiny. Thanks so much for tuning in today for another video. If you're new to my channel, then welcome, and if you're a subscriber, thanks for coming back, and I appreciate you, I really do. So yeah, I had a couple people respond in my last video that they would like to see me do a video recapping my planning system for first quarter and just kind of how things have worked out the first quarter of the year. And so I'm happy to do that. As you see, I have all of my books here in front of me. Some of these you have seen before in Plan With Me videos, and probably in my kind of introduction to my 2023 planning system back in January. And maybe you've not seen some of these books before, because they're not featured in my videos very often, but I did want to just kind of share everything, whether I use it a lot or not. I just kind of want to show you all the components. So without further ado, I think I'm just going to kind of start from here and work my way back and kind of go through everything with you. So I'll move those books for now and we'll focus on this one. This is my brain dump notebook, and for that I'm using a Wonderland 222 grid notebook. It just has 365 pages of grid paper just like this. So you could totally use this if you're a daily planner. You could totally use this as a planner. It has a place up here where you can write in the date. It has a timeline where you can do your schedule and plenty of space for to-dos and other lists and things. But I am using it as a brain dump notebook. And basically, I just throw things in here that, you know, I'm probably not going to deal with anytime soon, but I want to keep them in a place where they're captured. I know where they are. I can pull things from here and put them into my planner, whether it be, you know, planning goals or whether it's just tasks or things that I need to buy or just what have you. And it just has just everything in it. I mean, you could call it a commonplace book. You could, you know, I probably will use it in more of a commonplace purpose because I can't imagine doing 365 pages of brain dumping. So I very well may start using this more as a place to like capture quotes or thoughts, or if I'm reading something and, you know, something really strikes me, just kind of write notes about it in this book in addition to using it to brain dump. Just to fully utilize it. So I don't know right now, that's just kind of a thought that I have of another use for this beautiful book. It is Tamori River paper, which I do love, and it's just a nice book, and I have Alarm Phelps Designs clear cover on it. And yeah, I will just kind of make a note about how I was using it originally. As you can see, all of the color coding on here. What I had tried to do, I thought it would serve me well, but it just has turned out to be too much work. I took this little journaling card and I made a color code key inside of it. And I was trying to color code my brain dumping so that I could immediately identify certain categories of things like reference, someday maybe items, things related to me, to my husband, to the boys, to our home, to finances, church and community, things I need to purchase, projects, things related to not my nuclear family, but just our whole family, personal development, Architect Destiny, my husband's venture, marriage, and food and cooking. So I had this color key and I was trying to like color code these items, but it just really became more of a chore than it was useful, I think. For me, I can just kind of flip through here and review everything. Like I went through my brain dump notebook a couple of days ago, and just marked off several things that I have already done or taken care of, and things that I have put on my planner and so forth, and or marked out things that were no longer relevant. Or, if I said I was going to try thus and so, but I opted for another option other than that one, I'll cross it out and I'll just put in red, what did I opt for instead of what I planned. So that's how I'm using this notebook. I don't refer to this book as much as I should or as much as I had planned to. I really want this to be like my one-stop place for writing down random stuff. But I do find myself sometimes just writing on sticky notes and plopping it in my planner rather than capturing it here, because this is a part of my planning routine. I do have on here to check my brain dump for items that need to go into my planner, but I don't do it as often as I should. So that is kind of one critique of myself as far as this book and how it's incorporated into my system, is that I really need to refer to it more and really try to kind of knock off more things from here, and not just let this be an infinite list of stuff. I really need to go through this and be purposeful about either these things are relevant, they will be relevant, or just cross it off and just be done with it. So yeah, that's the only critique that I have of this, is that I'm probably not fully utilizing it within the context of my planning system, but it is an important part. I just need to be more aware of it and utilize it more. So that's my brain dump notebook. Okay, I will go out of order from what I originally said and look at my reference notebook, and then I'll get to my goal planning workbook. This is my reference notebook, and for that I am using a 160-page Paper Penguin Co. Tomoe River paper. I can't speak today. Tomoe River grid paper notebook, and it's a really nice size. I think maybe in the future, when I decide to redo this, I will upgrade to a half-year Stalogy. I started off with a half-year Stalogy, then I downsized to this, and now I'm thinking I should go back to the half-year Stalogy. The reason why I opted for a smaller notebook is because my initial plan was to keep this notebook inside the cover of my planner. I originally, and I did do this for a while last year, my original thought was to tuck this in the front of my planner and just kind of keep everything together. I had my reference, I had my planner, I had everything. But then I decided, I don't really need everything in this book to travel around with me all the time. So what I have opted for in lieu of that is to have one of these Hobonichi Weeks size notebooks that has just key information that I might possibly need when I'm out and about away from my house. And so I keep this little notebook just tucked in this pocket in the front, and that is my on-the-go reference notebook. This reference notebook stays at home. It has lots of information in it. I won't flip to too many pages because it does have a lot of very personal information, so I will not flip you through it. It does have an index of all the pages of the information that I keep here. And just for a little background on why I have a reference notebook, when I started out in bookbound planning, I originally kept all of my reference information in the back of my Hobonichi Cousin. I just the daily section I just kind of used as reference, and I put all types of information back there that was reference and list and collections and things like that. Then it just struck me that, you know what? If I do this, I'm going to have to recopy my reference information every year when I get a new planner, because I'm going to put this one on the shelf and it's got all of my long-term notes and lists and reference in the back. So I decided to break out my reference into a separate notebook that will be a companion to my planner. And this is all long-term information and reference and contacts and all of that type stuff that will go from year to year, and I can refer to it, I can revise it, I can add to it, but I don't have to recopy this notebook every year. It travels with me from year to year as a companion to my planner, and it has worked really, really, really well. And thank you to all the people who commented on my reference notebook video and said, this is genius, this is so helpful, I'm so glad I found this. I'm off to create my own reference notebook like right now. So that always makes me happy that, you know, people get inspiration from my videos, especially, you know, when they find things that are really helpful, things they hadn't thought about, but that they find, you know, that is going to make their lives easier and make their planning process more efficient. And so thanks for everybody that chimed in and said how much they appreciated this idea. It's not original to me, but I can't even remember where I got this idea from. But this is a super important part of my planning system, and it will continue to be. I cannot foresee ever not having a reference notebook. Whether I change to a different type of notebook or whatever, I will always have a reference notebook as a component in my planning system. And even though I can't flip through the whole thing, I can kind of show you parts of it. Like I have meal planning ideas. Like I have my husband's favorites. I have meats and casseroles, veggies, and sides and salads. And, you know, I refer to this when I'm doing my meal planning and I just can't think of anything to cook or what I'm gonna do for the week. I kind of can flip here and get ideas. I also have this kind of meal combination chart of things that I can kind of put together and make healthy meals. And I got this from a cookbook that I have, and I can't remember the name of the cookbook. I bought it on Amazon. Maybe I'll try to put it here if I remember, so that you can see. And then, yeah, so that's kind of an example of what I have in here. I can read the tabs off to you. Maybe I'll show you some other sections too. I have like planning prompts here. I have a size chart, and this just is kind of like planner printable sizing. Like if you want to change a letter size printable to another size, like if you have a B6 planner, then you would reduce it 58%. If you have pocket size, you know, to 38% and so forth. So it just kind of gives you kind of a sizing chart for your printables. And then it has the insert sizes for certain types of planners. What else do I have? Anything else I can show you? Different sizes of ring planners, size comparisons, Filofax, Webster's Pages, Kate Spade, Louis Vuitton, Kiki K, which I don't even know if they're still in business, Simple Stories, Gillio, Doki Book, Vanderspec, Mulberry, Franklin Covey, and Daytimer. So it just has different sizing of the sizes of different types of planners. I have contacts, I have reference information, I have a work reference section. Oops, I have meals. I have medical, keeping track of when we got physicals, when we went to the dentist, when we went to the eye doctor last, and, you know, in the COVID days, you know, the dates of our vaccines and all that kind of stuff. I have a finance reference. I have planner reference where I write down ideas that I get from videos or Instagram of products that I want to try or different planning ideas that I might want to try. I just have a reference section there for that. I have collections, and with my collections, it's like vacation places. It has things I want to try, places I want to go, foods I want to try, restaurants I want to try, the shades of makeup that I use. So when I go to the store, I can remember the number on, what number shade of foundation I use, or things like that. What other collections do I have? Different wines and spirits that I want to try. I have self-care ideas, shops I want to go to and browse or buy things from, activities I want to try, and then a miscellaneous category. So those are my collections. I have shop codes for like Etsy shops and things like that. I have books that I want to read. I have a home reference section, a personal reference section. I have a pantry section, and this would ordinarily go up here for meals, but I did not reserve pages, extra pages to add to, or not enough extra pages, so my pantry section is back here. And this is just like some stocking your kitchen for healthy cooking kinds of things that I got from, the name of the cookbook is Cook Once, Eat All Week. That's the name of the cookbook that I got this from, and also this chart. This also came from that. It's called Cook Once, Eat All Week. That's the name of the cookbook. So this is kind of like things that you would stock your pantry with in your kitchen in order to cook these recipes. Then I have important dates, and these are like birthdays and anniversaries. So I just have January through December, and I just write them here. Then I have all of my pens and highlighters. I think this should be up to date. My Zig Clean color dots, my zebra mild liners, just some color swatches from Zig Fude Biore brush pens. And then I have just a little, pocket in the back with some business cards stuck in there. And I have self-care ideas. So yeah, this is my reference notebook, and this is a very, like I said, very important part of my system. And so if you don't have one, I highly, highly recommend, whether you use a book bound planner or whether you use a ring bound planner or, disc bound, I think having a separate reference notebook is just a really good idea, because it can travel from year to year with you and just grow with you and evolve and change with you, and you can update it and add to it and all that. So that is my reference planner. Then, new as of 2023, I have been using and I'll just pull this part out. This is a separate book, but I just kind of stuck it in the back of my quarterly notebook. This is my Moxie Life goal planning system. What it's comprised of is 4 quarterly books just like this. They're all undated, so you can skip a month on doing goals, like I'm just not feeling it, so I'm not going to do it. Or you can, put 1 quarter's worth of goals in each book, and then you put it aside, grab the other book. This is the yearly book plus the kind of the instructions for how to use it. So it talks about how to do the compass assessment that goes along with it, like this compass section, how to evaluate your life and how to establish a starting point and how to get started. Then you go through and score yourself in the 8 different life categories, and then you fill in here, and so you can see the areas where you fall short and what you need to work on. And then you go through, it has more kind of tips for goal setting, the different types of goals, your stretch goals, progress goals, maintenance goals. As you can see, this is like a very thorough and intense process. You have annual goals, monthly, and then weekly actions. And then you have like these things to consider in each life area when you are making your goals. And it just kind of gives you some trigger words or trigger terms to help you with creating your goals. And it gives you a space to do a mind map, which I did for all the 8 different areas. And then you go forth and do your annual goals, which I will not flip to. You have a place to do annual goals in all different all the 8 different goal areas. And those are personal, work and learning, health and wellness, financial, fun and recreation, family relationships, spiritual, personal growth, and physical environment. And so you do your annual goals here. And then the idea is to pull from your annual goals, and in your quarterly book, you have, of course, 3 months. And then you write out your monthly goals and your weekly actions that will carry you forward to make progress on your annual goals. And then it gives you a place in the back where you can put your vision board. This has been my vision board for the last 2 or 3 years. My vision has not changed. I'm still working on these things. Some things I have achieved, like working from home. I do that. And just different things I'm still working on. But yeah, it gives you a place for that. And then there's some quick tips in the back as well. So this is the annual book, and then I'll just kind of flip to blank pages to show you how the quarterly book is set up. Okay, like I said, it's undated, and it gives you a monthly calendar. I always change mine to Monday start because I just don't understand how anybody can use a Sunday start. If somebody can explain how that makes sense to you, then please do, because not having my weekend split makes no sense to me. The only way I could see this is if you worked on Sunday through, Thursday, and your weekend was on Friday and Saturday. That's the only way I can see this making sense. Otherwise, I don't get it. So I kind of change it to a Monday start calendar, and I just put my calendar here, and I don't put like all of my relevant dates on this calendar in my goal planner. What I put on here is things that relate to my goals. For instance, last year I did my first goal planning retreat in December. Like, I went to a hotel for 2 nights by myself, and I worked on my goals for the year. That's how I came up. I went through this book and came up with my annual goals. So in this book, I would only put things that are related to my goals. Like, if this was December, I would put goal planning retreat in this book because that's related to my goals. And one of my personal goals is to do a goal planning retreat every year, just for me. If I had, let's say, I had a personal development goal that I was going to do 2 investment webinars a month, then I would write the dates of those investment webinars in here. Things that are related to achieving my goals, I will write in here. Other things that I will write in here is if I'm going to be out of town for some reason, and I'll write my family birthdays in here. Those are because I do have family goals, so those things are relevant. But I don't put like work meetings in here. I don't put social engagements in here. The things in here are all related to my 8 goal categories, my life categories for my goal planning. Those are the only types of things that I would put on this calendar. And you could also like put deadlines for yourself. Like, if you have a deadline for wanting to achieve something, like a step in your goal, or a deadline to complete a certain part of a project that is related to a goal, this is a good place to chart those kinds of things out as well. The pages in these books are all perforated, so if for some reason you wanted to rip them out and maybe punch them and put them in a ring notebook or ring binder, you could do that. If you have a ring planner and you want to keep everything together and not have a separate notebook, you can just tear these pages out at the perforation and put them in your ring planner. I choose to keep them in book form. From the calendar, you go to your monthly goals, and as you can see, you have the 8 different life categories, and you just pull from your annual goals in the annual book, and you create your monthly goals for yourself. From the monthly goals, there is a place to reflect on the wins and what you need to work on and what didn't work lessons learned and adjustments you need to make for the next month. And so this is a reflection page. It's dot grid. And so, yeah, just a nice place to write reflections and take notes. And then here you have your weekly actions. And this is more like tasks and to-dos that create kind of the step plan for you reaching your monthly goals. So I like the fact that it's called weekly actions, because that says you're going to do something. You're actually going to do something that is going to put you a step closer to your goals for the month. So this is where you record your weekly actions. And as for me, these weekly actions would go into my planner because I don't carry this around with me. Now, my original thought was that I would, and this book has been in and out of my planner. It has been in and out. Like originally I started out the year keeping this book in my planner, and this was my planning system, my goal planner and my Jibun Techo. This together was my planning system. And then I kind of got discouraged with the Moxie Life process. I just felt like it was so intense. I felt intimidated by it. I felt it kind of made me anxious to like try to sit down and, you know, come up with goals and weekly actions every week. That's not to say that it's bad. It just kind of felt intense for me. And maybe it's because of the season of life I'm in right now, which is a lot of other things going on, that it felt intense. I really like the system because I like systems that guide you through from point A to point B and tell you what to do until you get to the end result. And this system totally walks you through annual to monthly to, you know, weekly to, you know, all of that, and then evaluating and, you know, figuring out your, you know, the parts of your life, the areas of your life where you're really not spending enough time and energy, and so that you can focus on those. It really is a very holistic goal planning system. I think just for this first quarter of 2023, it did not work for me. I just was not super motivated to do all that work. I was not super motivated to hold myself strictly to goals. I plan for that to be different going forward. I plan to be better about it here in the month of May, and then get progressively better in June and so forth, and really get on task with this. But the first quarter, I just was not wholly committed to this process. But I do think it's an excellent process. I really do. So you have your weekly actions, and I think it gives you 4 or 5 pages for that. You know, depending on whether a month has 4 or 5 weeks, you have plenty of pages. Then you have a page for monthly reflections. And this is where you can put your biggest wins, things that are currently working in your life, things that are currently not working in your life, what I learned this month, what improvements or adjustments do I need to make going into next month, what am I most grateful for right now, habits I want to nurture next month, areas I want to focus on next month, and then you give yourself an overall satisfaction rating for the month from 1 to 10. More space for notes, and then it goes to the next month. So I just kind of have been tucking my annual book in the back of the quarterly book and just kind of carrying it with me, because this is where I would pull my pull from to create my monthly goals. So I've just been kind of tucking it back there, and this is my little goal planning workbook. So I mean, I would highly recommend it if, number one, you're someone who is seriously into goal planning, but you have just not found a system that is holistic enough for you. This is good stuff. And the creator of this system also has like, I went through her videos on YouTube where she does like hour and a half sessions on how to use this. And she does it like every year. I think she does like a goal planning video on how to use this system. So, you know, if you're into that and you really are looking for something that's holistic and something where, you know, it just kind of carries you from point A to B to C as far as how to do it and how to be successful at setting your goals, I would highly recommend Moxie Life. I would highly recommend it. And I do plan to get on board with this and be more intentional about it in the coming months. So yes, this is a very good system to use. Last but not least, the most important part of my planning system is my planner, of course. I have been using this beautiful Hobonichi Cousin cover that is part of the 2023 line, and I just think it's stunning. I just love to carry it around. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. It's just a beautiful planner cover, and I have a Hobonichi Cousin cover on cover to keep it nice and pristine and clean, especially since it's this very light cream colored background. So, and yeah, it looks like new. The cover on cover is working like a charm, protecting my cover. And inside, I have just some functional items in the pockets. I was carrying some stickers back here, but I found that I wasn't really reaching for them that much. So I took them out because they were really just adding bulk with not a lot of, getting a lot of use out of them. I have my little mini on-the-go reference notebook in this pocket. I have some Post-it page flags that I keep here just in case I need to grab one. I have this Starbucks gift card that I use to tear washi. I have my very handy Hobonichi stencil that I use to make my check boxes for my to-do list. I have this goal key, which fits with my Moxie Life Goal Planner. This is kind of the color code of the Moxie Life Goal Planning System, just so I can just kind of have these kind of life areas in front of me all the time. I keep it right there. I have one of the mini Ollie clips. I have one of the Ollie dots and this plan paper clip I just keep in here for decoration. In this front pin loop, I keep the color of the month that I use on my habit tracker. Right now I'm using this Blue Bonnet Zig Clean color dot to fill in my habit tracker when I complete a habit for the day. I have returned to my Uni Jetstream 4-in-1 multi-pen in 0.5. I love this. I had been using my Pilot Friction erasable pen, but I just really missed my ballpoint pen. I don't know, what can I say? I love the way it writes. I love the way this pen feels in my hand. I love the way my writing looks with this pen. And so I went back to it for the month of May, and for however long I decided to continue to use it. I love it. This is my A5 slim size Jibun Techo. I have it wrapped with a piece of beautiful craft paper from Hobby Lobby. And then I have the Jibun Techo clear cover on top that has this nice pocket on the front that you can slip a list in there or whatever you want to put in there. I usually keep it empty unless I have a die cut or something in there. And on the inside of the clear cover, it has some pockets, and I just have this die cut from Fox and Pip that says Planner Nerd. I've had that for a long, long time, several years. The Jibun Techo page flags, and I love that it has a little closable flap here that you can tuck in and close and keep your page flags protected from getting bent. These I use for pre-planning in my Jibun Techo. And then I have this Caffeine Queen sticker that I've not committed to putting down in my planner, so I just stick it here because I love it. Then I just have my name vinyl here. This is from Amy Ogden Designs on Etsy. These two stickers are from Sparkle and Shine Designs Co. on Etsy. And this Live Life in Color is from Happy Planner Gold Star Quotes sticker book. Then I put a Target Dollar Spot clear pocket here in the front and just put my Jibun Techo stencil in here. I've yet to use this, but I have it in case I ever decide to use it. And then we kind of get to the insides of my planner. I love using this the way I have always used my yearly overview in my Hobonichi Cousin. I use it to track paydays, work holidays where I don't have to go to work, PTO, paid time off, sick days, and volunteer time off. And I just color code it and mark those things on my planner. As soon as I get my paydays for the year, I mark all those in, and then as I take time off from work, I just mark that in and how many hours. You know, if it's just 2 hours to go to the dentist, or I'm taking the full day off, you know, because I'm on vacation, or I'll write 8, I'll write 2 or 3, however many hours I take off, just to have a record for myself. And I usually just put a little sticky note. If I carry time off over from the previous year, I just put how many hours I carried over, just so I know. And so that's my yearly overview. And then this kind of Calendex overview system I use for birthdays, anniversaries, doctor appointments, dentist appointments. What else did I put on here? I think that's all I put on here. And they're color coded. Doctor appointments are blue. Dentist is this kind of gold color. Purple is birthdays. Anniversaries is pink. And so that's what I put on here. And I migrate these to my monthly calendars as I'm doing my monthly planning. And then from my monthly to my weekly pages as I do my weekly planning. This next section is the part of the Jibun Techo that I didn't really find extremely useful for my purposes as it was intended to be used. So I just decided to use it for the reasons I wanted to use it for. And I basically just covered up the titles. I made labels of my own with my Brother P-Touch label maker on white label tape. And I just popped those in here and made my own list. Like, this is my music playlist. Then I have what I'm currently loving, and then each month I list what I'm loving, accomplishments, and I have January through December. I have gift ideas for my family. I have movie list, which is not even close to being up to date. Honestly, the reason why it's not is because my husband and I watch so many movies on the weekend. That's usually what we do on Friday nights if we're not gonna go out on a date. And a lot of the movies just aren't worth writing down, to tell you the truth. They're just not memorable. I write down movies that are really like memorable, if they really made an impression on me. I don't tend to just write down every single movie we watch because I would run out of space if I tried to do that. So I really write down the movies that I enjoyed, that were really quirky and different, or that were kind of impactful. These next pages, let's see what else. Okay, books. I'll show you this one. Books. This is my books read, completed. In my reference notebook, I have my books to read. So if somebody recommends a book to me, or if I see a book somewhere, somebody mentions it in their YouTube video or whatever, I'll write it on my books to read list. And then when I get ready to read a new book, or my husband gets ready to read a book to me, I'll talk about that more in a minute, then I put it on this list. And then as I complete, or we complete a book, I put the date that we completed reading it, or I completed reading it. I'll grade it, whether it was good, meh, or, you know, it was ridiculous, I didn't like the book. And then I'll just write a little comment about it. And so that's what this is. This will be for the year. And so I read. I like to read. It's fine. I also like to be read to, and my husband reads to me. So I count books that I read myself and books that he reads to me, or that we read together. I put here. That's just something we do in the evening, maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 times a week, in the evening before we go to sleep. you know, we'll have a book that we've been reading. He'll read it to me. He'll read a chapter or 10 or 15 pages or whatever, you know, just to kind of wind down and do something together before we, you know, get ready to call it a night. So that's what this list is all about. These next pages, the ones that I'm not going to flip to, are my social media kind of, I wouldn't say planner, but capture. What I do on these pages is to write down the income that I receive from social media, like any monies that I earn from YouTube or from Instagram or Buy Me a Coffee or Stationery Pal or Amazon, my Amazon storefront. I just keep track of revenue from those sources on these pages. So I won't flip to those, but that's what I use them for. And that's pretty much how I'm using this front section of the planner. Let's see. I won't flip to this next page, but essentially I made a copy of this Calendex and I put it over the habit tracker pages for November and December 2022. This planner starts with November of the previous year. So I was not going to start this planner to January, so I did not need the November, December habit tracker pages. So I copied this layout and I pasted it in here and I use it to track my weight. I weigh every Monday and I write my weight down on these pages here. And I have a flag on it so I can easily flip to it every Monday morning and write down my weight. Then I have my habit tracker and I have my habits written on this side and the, you know, days of the month here. And I just use my Zig Clean color dot to fill in every time I complete the habit. And so this is where I do my habit tracking. I'll turn to a blank one so I can show you the whole thing. That was good. So I can show you the whole thing. So this is what it looks like. You write your habits here and then you track over here and there's 2 months per spread. And I just really like this. I love that the Jibun Techo comes with this already set up for me. I don't have to draw it out. I don't have to do anything. Just write my habits and use it. And I like the fact that it kind of limits me to just a few habits so that I don't kind of just go overboard and start tracking things that I don't need to track just because I have the space. So I'm really, really enjoying having habit tracking in my planner. So then we just go into the monthlies and I'm loving the size of the monthlies. I'm loving, I'll turn to a blank one. As you can see, it's got the ready-made check boxes over here in the sidebar. So you can make your to-do list for the month or your goals for the month. You can write your appointments and so forth here. If you want to do mood tracking on this spread, it has the happy face, the meh face, and the sad face. If you want to use this for tracking your mood, plenty of room to write your engagements and meetings and appointments. Some more check boxes down at the bottom, and then reference calendars here. So I'm just loving the amount of space that I have, very comparable to the Hobonichi Cousin, and I'm just really, really enjoying this. Using this. And then we go into the weeklies and I'll show you a blank one. And then we can look at one of my filled in ones so I can show you how I am loving using these pages. This is your typical weekly layout in the Jibun Techo. You have your monthly reference calendar in the top corner, and it kind of has it grayed for you, but whatever color I choose for the week, I will highlight over this just to show the week that I'm in the month. And it also gives you the week number, like this is week 40 of the year. Then at the top, you have a place to track your weather, and it gives you sunny, cloudy, rainy, storming, rainbow. I think this is like a thermometer. I guess it means really hot. I don't know. Windy, and then it gives you the moon phase. So I just take a highlighter or a mild liner, and I just color in whatever the weather is, weather conditions are for the day. And then on these two lines here, I will just write the high-low temperature for the day. So I do track my weather up here. This section from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., I'm not even awake. So I don't use this to plan anything other than writing in day-long events and activities. Like if there's a bill due, a credit card bill due, I have a sticker here for credit card due. Like for instance, here, I'll put the credit card due in this space. If there's a birthday or anniversary, I will write it in this space. If it's a payday, I'll put the payday sticker in this space. If there's something else that I want to do or remember for that day, I'll put it in this space. Like if it's a holiday, I'll put the holiday sticker in this space. I also put things that happen early in the morning, like before, well, no, that's not true. I put that in this space because I start working at 9, so I have this space to have like early morning to-dos. But so this is more like day-long things or just special items that I want to note for the day in this area. Then down below, between 6 and 8, that's where I would mark, you know, what social media I have going for that day. If I'm going to do an Instagram reel, when am I going to do my reels? I put, you know, my YouTube video that I'm going to film on Saturday. Over here, I put things like that in this area. What I also put here is my Monday morning weigh-in, because I usually do that when I wake up, and I usually wake up between 7 and 7:30. So I will put my weigh-in checkbox here. And then from 8 to 9, that's where I log my work hours, Monday through Friday. And then from 9 to 5, that's my work day. And I'll put in there any work engagements that I have, meetings or webinars or trainings or whatever, I will document in this space. And then also other to-dos that I might need to do during the day that may or may not be work related. Like if I need to call and schedule a doctor's appointment during the day. I mean, I have to do that during the day because that's when they're open. So I'll write things like that in this area. Even though it's personal, I need to do it during the day. Then down below, this is where I put my evening tasks and to-dos, like meal prep, doing the dishes, any cleaning tasks, any after work errands, or things that I need to do, grocery shopping, go to the dry cleaners, and go to the pharmacy, pick up prescription, do this, do that. All the evening stuff, what TV show I'm watching, or whether it's Friday night movie night, I may put a movie night sticker here, or if it's date night, I put a date night sticker here on Friday. So just whatever is going on in the evening goes here. Then down in this bottom section, you also have like a mood tracker kind of situation. And I do track my mood here. I'll write a little note that's kind of descriptive of whatever I say my mood is. Like, I don't just color in which box, but I will write a descriptive word like content or okay or anxious, and I'll write it on the appropriate line. If it's content, I'll put it on the happy line. If it's okay or meh, I'll put it on the meh line. If I was anxious or sad or tired or sick or frustrated, I'll put it on the unhappy face line. And then I'll write something here maybe that tells a little bit more about why I felt that way. Then there's also a place to track your meals down here. It has like a sunrise and a high noon sun and then a star. So I use that as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I track my meals down here at the bottom. And you know what, guys? I am just so loving this. I mean, I get so much, I can just track so much content within the confines of this space. Like, trying to find a really good one that I really liked, that I will show you specifically what it looks like. Let's do, let's see. Let's just look at this one. So this kind of shows you exactly what I just described to you, but it's already filled in. I didn't talk about my sidebar, so I'll do that now. On my sidebar, I will have a running task list for the week. These are things that are not day or date specific, but I just want to try to do them this week, and I will fit them in wherever I can. If I don't fit them in, it is not a big deal. They will go to the next week. This is my meal plan for the week. Things that I'm gonna cook, ideas that I have for meals, I put those things here. After I prepare these things, I just mark them off as completed. I have a shopping list, and this is like for miscellaneous things. This is not by any stretch a grocery list or anything like that, unless maybe there's just like 1 or 2 things that I need to pick up at the store, and it's not a grocery shopping week. Like I put milk here. We were all out of milk, so that's on here. And this was not a grocery shopping week, so I put that here. But I have things like I needed a new metal strainer because I broke mine. I needed some cotton balls. I needed a small jar of Vaseline. I need it's time to replace our toothbrushes, so I need those. I need some shoes and the milk. So that's kind of like my little shopping list for the week. Then my waiting on section is things that are outstanding. The ball's in somebody else's court, and I'm waiting for that thing to happen, or, I ordered something and I'm waiting to receive it. I sent a package to my son Cameron at school. I'm waiting for him to tell me that he got it. I ordered some things on Etsy. I'm waiting for my orders to come, that kind of thing. So this is or I call somebody to schedule an appointment and I need for them to call me back and confirm it. That's the kind of thing that I put on my waiting on list. Then what I've been doing to separate just kind of the main part of my day from the kind of journaling part of my day is to just either use a highlighter or washi tape or something like that. In this case, I used a beautiful salmon colored mild liner, and I just kind of drew like kind of freehand lines there and just a shaded area to do some stenciling over. So I just used kind of this lotus stencil to just create the separation. And I think it turned out really cute. And then this is kind of how my pages look at the end of the week. I typically will put a weekend banner here. Like I said, I track my weather at the top. I've got my payday here. This has happened to be a weekend I was going to spend with my mom. I did some journaling on what we did during the time I was visiting with her. I had here to film a video on Friday and to check YouTube comments, but I did not do it, so I marked through it with red pen. I was going to watch an investment webinar on Saturday morning, but I did not do it. I made a note that I'll watch it later. All of the little writing in blue, that's just kind of like highlights of the day, like things that I want to remember. Like I went walking with my neighbor across the street twice this week. That I had a really late night last night, and so I slept in a little bit later on Wednesday morning. I was really tired that day, and I wanted to just notate that. We got smoothies in celebration of the end of tax season in my office. I work for a financial company for an investment management firm, and it was the end of tax season, and the whole branch got smoothies from Smoothie King, Tropical Smoothie. And I got the Detox Island Green, and it has so much ginger in it, I could not drink it. So I just wrote here, too much ginger. I gave mine to my husband because he likes ginger. I like ginger just fine, but that was just like, ooh, man, it was just a lot of ginger. So I just made a note of that next time I will not get ginger in my smoothie at Tropical Smoothie. And just other things. I have, all the journaling I did for the weekend with my mom, I wrote in blue. When I mark things out or make notations, I write them in red. My work hours, I write in red. And then when I put my time in at the end of the week, I just check it off that I did it. If I have something on my evening to-do list and I don't do it on the day that I plan, when I do it, I'll mark it off, but I'll also note the day that I actually did it, just because I want to know. I'm not going to like erase and move things around. It's like, as long as it gets done this week, okay. I'm not going to like move things around on my to-do list. I'll just make a note of when I actually did it. I was supposed to finish meal prep on Monday. Evidently, I started on Sunday. Yeah, I have a half box checked that my husband helped me get dinner started for the week. And so I only checked half the box, and then I wrote finish meal prep here. I didn't do it on Monday for whatever reason. I did it on Tuesday. So I just made a note, Tuesday. What else? I have birthdays marked in blue up here at the top. As I indicated, this is kind of like the all-day type things. I had a credit card payment due on the 17th. And I love these little stickers from the Coffee Monsters Code. Because, are you seeing it? There it is. Because it has a little checkbox that you can check when you complete the task. I always mark my office day. I work from home, but my team goes into the office on Tuesdays so that we can be in the office together for any things that we need to work on together and collaborate on, and also so that we can have our weekly team meeting. So this is my office day. And I mark when I'm watching one of my favorite shows on TV. Like, I love Farmer Wants a Wife. I just love that show. It's so cute. Then, yeah, that's just kind of the setup for my week. And as you can see, there is so much planning real estate here, and you can just really put so much content into this spread. I just love it. I love the sidebar where I can have my critical list of things for the week. My journaling space, because I'm not a journaler, just being able to write a couple of sentences, that is more than enough for me, because a whole empty blank page for me to fill with my thoughts and feelings is just very intimidating for me, and I'm just not going to do it. It's not something that's important to me, but I like to be able to look back and just have an idea of how I was feeling that day and why and what was going on. And then all these little notes of highlights and lowlights, even highlights and lowlights in blue. I can just go back and like totally remember what was going on that day. So I'm just loving this. I can't say enough about how much I love this planner and how I am using it. It's really, really working for me. I have my little, I can show you, I think. Let's see, am I going to show anything too personal? No. This is how I pre-plan, and those of you who watch my Plan With Me videos, this is not anything new for you. These are the page flags I was talking about for my recurring activities. The Jibun Techo page flags that I use, these small ones. I just typed up my labels and I use these and I move them from month to month just to block off the recurring things. So when I'm trying to schedule something in, I don't schedule it over something that's already there. And then I just collage the pages of my monthlies with sticky notes and things that I need to remember when I get ready to plan the month. It's all here for me and ready to go. So that's kind of how my monthly pre-planning looks, and it's working for me. I don't plan to change anything. I've got my pencil board all clipped to my page so that when I write, I have my pencil board right there. But this is my pencil board, my Jibun Techo pencil board that I use. And this is anything I don't want you to see here. No, I think that's pretty non-personal. This is my weekly pre-planning. And again, I'm using these Jibun Techo page flags. This size here, kind of the medium size ones. And these are, again, my weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly recurring items that I put on here. When I say weekly, I mean things like weigh-in, meal prep, and my investments, reading and studying, washing my hair, updating the budget, Architect Destiny as far as filming, laundry, tithes, cash apping our tithes for the church, scanning receipts into my Fetch app, my office day. Those are all like weekly things. Then I have bi-weekly, like getting cash for our cash envelopes. I do that every 2 weeks on paydays. So, or not necessarily on paydays, but every 2 weeks I do this. And so when I plan this week for next, which I will do this evening because it's Sunday, when I plan this week, I will move this cash envelopes sticky flag to 2 weeks out because that's the next time I'm going to do it. I'll move this grocery flag to 2 weeks out because I buy groceries every 2 weeks. In addition to the recurring items, I have this day timer page flag, and I just keep a stash of these in the back of my planner. I have tipped in some, if I can get to a page, I have tipped in some acetate pages in the back where I can put page flags and sticky notes and things like that. I just put 2 or 3 acetate pages in here. And on one of these acetate pages, I just keep a stash of these tabbed to-do list sticky notes. And I use those for pre-planning the next week. So I will just write down anything that needs to be scheduled or done or what have you for the next week. I'm in this week and I'm like, oh, next week I have to do da-da-da. And so I'll just turn to this and write it here. And so that's kind of how I do my weekly pre-planning. And again, I love it. I have no plans to change how I pre-plan weekly at all. It's working for me. I love it. I'll put this back real quick. That right there. And that's it. I mean, there are no dailies in the Jibun Techo. When you get to the very end, it has a bunch of other stuff back here that I don't use, except for, see, this is the last weekly, and that's January 2024. And then there's like this looking back on 2023, and I'm using this for highlights or memories. So I will write down 2 or 3 things that were really memorable for each month of the year. And this will kind of be like my memory keeping for the year. So whereas some people have a separate memory planner that's separate from their actual agenda, everyday carry planner, you know, catch-all, I have my memories and my plans all in the same book. And for me, that is optimal. That is ideal. There's no way I would have time to keep a separate memory planner. Some people do that because they love it and it's a creative outlet and that's what they do. And that's, you know, that's what works for them. But for me, I'm not going to do that. Because all my memories are in this planner. I don't need a separate planner. So this is working really well for me. Then there are these Tokyo subway maps or train maps or what have you. They're pretty and colorful. I have no use for them, so I put sticky notes on top of them. Like I said, I tipped in some acetate and put a collection of sticky notes. Another sheet of acetate, more sticky notes, to-do list sticky note, transparent sticky notes, which I don't really like these. I thought it was a cute idea for some reason, but when you put these on top of a page that you've already written on, it's hard to see them and it's hard to know whether you're writing on the sticky note or on the page. So, you know, the jury's still out on the clear sticky notes, guys. I don't know. Some people like these things. I'm like, they're kind of tricky to me. I don't know if I'm writing off the edge of it onto my page or am I writing on it? To me, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. If I put it on top of something, see, this is what it is. It's transparent. I put it on top of something. I put it on top of this, and I'm going to write something. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's like writing on top of writing. I don't know. I don't get the concept. So I still have them in here. I don't use them. I just haven't bothered to take them out. They're just there. However, I do like these little circle sticky notes that are very cute. And you can only write on them with a permanent marker. That's the downside, but I don't care. I keep a permanent marker in my pen pouch anyway, so that's not a problem. So I do like these and I do use them. And then I just have like a pen test page here that I just go back here if I want to see what color pen's gonna match what washi, you know, what does this color actually look like? Is this what I actually want to use for this week's color, or is it gonna be too dark, or what? I mean, you know, whatever. Does this mild liner match these washi dots? This is kind of my test page here. And, you know, I'll use this page too when I fill this one up. So that's what that is. And this is the end of, this is the end of the planner. And I keep stamps and address labels here. And then this is my Jibun Techo idea book. Oops, I won't take it all the way out. And this is my logbook and notes. And in here, and I won't flip to it because I think I've shown you this before. I'm pretty sure I have. I keep all of my logs, like my savings account log, our brokerage account log, and monthly balances for those. And when we deposit money, where'd the money come from? When we take money out, what did we use it for? I keep all of the logs in here. I keep a log of our major purchases that we make on our, oops, I think I bumped the camera holder. If we make major purchases on either of our 2 credit cards, I write those down, the amount and what was purchased. And then I also will write down when we make payments. And so I keep track of the balances on our cards. I keep track of, what else? I keep track of gift card balances. I keep track of coupons, like I keep track of online orders. I have a coupon section where I have a little pocket here. I stick my coupons in there, and then I keep track of the coupon. What store is it? What's the deal? Is it a percentage off coupon? Is it a $1 off coupon? Is it like Kohl's Cash, or what is it? When is the start date that I can use that coupon? When is the expiration date for the coupon? And then whether I used it or whether it expired and I didn't use it, I'll write a red line through it if it expired and I didn't use it. So this is how I track my coupons. And then when I go through my planning routine, I actually have on my planning routine to check my coupon tracker and note any coupons that I need to use that week before they expire. So I'll check here and see if I have any coupons that I can pull. And typically I will stick them on the back of my page marker right here in this sticky pocket. I'll stick them there where I can see them and not forget about them. Then I also have in here, like I said, my credit card trackers, gift card trackers. I have pages for my boys just to like write notes about them and things I need to remember for them or about them. I have my college son's term schedule for school in here, so I know when he's on break and when he's coming home and when exams are and all that kind of stuff. And then I just have a section for notes up here. I also have a cleaning tracker in here, which, as you can see, I've not really used. It's a deep cleaning tracker, things that are cleaned periodically. This is not like a weekly tracker of like regular housework. This is like a deep clean and recurring tasks. See, deep clean, recurring tasks, like flipping the mattresses, changing the air filters, cleaning the fridge and the freezer. Well, that would go up here, the deep clean. Decluttering, all of these things, I have a tracker for when they have been done throughout the year. And then, like I said, just several pages in the back for notes. So this little book has taken the place of the daily pages that I used in my Hobonichi Cousin last year. Those pages I use for all of my trackers and so forth. I have kind of condensed that down to this little book here. And if it's neatly in the back of my planner and it's with me all the time, and I love it. And as you can see, I mean, let's see, am I gonna show something I don't wanna show back here? No. Okay, if I pull this out, and you've seen me pull it out. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this book outside the cover many times. And I don't know why I can't get it out of the cover. What the heck is going on? What's keeping me? Jeez, what was that all about? As you can see, this is not a thick planner for everything I have going on in here. I mean, seriously, it's not. I have a lot going on in here, and this is not a super chunky planner. It's just chunky enough. So yeah, I would say, as far as any critique of this planner, I don't have any problems with this planner, honestly. My critique of the Hobonichi Cousin was that I didn't need the daily pages. I was using them for a totally other purpose. This planner doesn't have daily pages. I'm not a daily planner. I don't need daily pages. I'm not gonna make a big humongous to-do list for the day because I work all day. So there's only a limited amount of time I have to do tasks during the day. So I don't need a huge to-do list. And if I did need more space for a to-do list for a given day, that's why I have these. I'll pull one of these, I'll stick it on the day, or I'll stick it on the week, or I'll stick it on my page marker and I'll add the to-dos. And so that's how that works for busy days. But I'm loving the fact that this does not have dailies. It's just annual, monthly, weekly. I have my yearly spreads that I use. I have these habit trackers in the front that I use. I have the other spreads that I can use for the things that I need, relabel them and use them for what I need. And this is just magic. I love it. If I want to put my goal planner in here, I certainly can. That does chunk it up quite a bit. But if I want that with me, then there you go. I have it. I have it all in here, everything. If I want to carry my planning routine around with me, sometimes I do. I just stick it right in there, just like that. I have everything, guys. I have my little mini reference notebook in there that I keep tucked in the front, so I don't need to carry this with me. I have sticky notes to write things down for like random things that I can then come home, and when I'm syncing up my books, I can write the things from my sticky notes into my brain dump notebook and throw away the sticky note, and we're good to go. So yeah, this is my planning system for 2023, and I am just really pleased. I can't say enough about what I have going on here and just how well it's working for me. Can I utilize some things better? Absolutely. I absolutely can. But overall, I have everything I need here. When I grab this book, I have everything I need when I'm on the go. I have everything that I need. And, that is something that's very important to me, to have everything I need in my carry-all, catch-all, everyday carry planner. And these other pieces for when I sit down, I have significant time to plan, to process, to think, to work through things. Then I have the other components of my system that pretty much stay at home, unless I may grab this to take with me if I'm going to Starbucks to plan after work or on the weekend or whatever, and I want to, work on my goals. I may grab this and tuck it in here and take it with me. But overall, guys, this is working really well for me. I'm loving it. I don't have any concerns. I don't feel like anything is missing. There are some things that I can and will do better to optimize my system or how well it works for me. Those things are totally to do with me, not with my system. It has to do with my motivation level and my discipline level. But I love it. I can't say that enough. I've said it several times, but I'm really loving my planning system. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful in any way, if it was entertaining, if it was just nice to just be nosy and look in somebody else's planner, which I love doing that personally. If that's you, then give this video a thumbs up. That would mean a lot to me personally, and it would mean a lot to my channel as I'm still trying to continue to grow this little community of ours. If you have a channel out there, let me know. Put it in the comments so I can check you out as well and support you. And if you enjoy my content and you're not subscribed to my channel, why don't you consider subscribing and also hit the notification bell so that when I upload new videos, you'll be one of the first to know. That's it for me for today, guys. Thanks for joining me and hanging out for a bit, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.